You won't believe what this family dog did at 3 a.m. that saved a baby's life. What they discovered about his past will absolutely break your heart. Picture this. It's the middle of the night. The house is silent. Then suddenly, frantic barking shatters the peace. A German shepherd named Rex is going absolutely crazy outside the baby's room, scratching at the door like his life depends on it. Night after night. The same thing. Emily and Dan thought they were dealing with a jealous pet. They had no idea their dog was trying to tell them something that would change everything. Now, before we dive deeper into this incredible story, I'd love to know where you're tuning in from. Drop your country in the comments below. It's amazing to see how these stories connect people from all corners of the world. And if you're enjoying this, hit that like button and subscribe, 'cause trust me, you'll want to hear how this unfolds. Alright, let's get back to it. When Emily and Dan brought baby Noah home from the hospital, they expected the usual adjustment period. You know how it goes. Sleepless nights, endless diaper changes, that new parent exhaustion that hits you like a truck. What they didn't expect was their normally calm, well-behaved dog turning into an absolute nightmare every single evening. Rex had always been such a good boy, gentle, obedient, the kind of dog you could trust completely. But the moment Noah arrived, something changed. Something deep. The second that baby monitor switched on and the house settled into nighttime quiet, Rex transformed into a different animal entirely. He would bolt down the hallway, his nails clicking frantically against the hardwood floor. Then he'd plant himself right outside the nursery door and just lose it, scratching, whining, barking with this intensity that made Emily's heart race. His whole body would go rigid, first standing on end, ears pointed straight forward, eyes locked on that crib like he was staring down an invisible threat. Emily tried everything. She'd gently lead him away, speaking in soft, soothing tones. She'd close the nursery door, hoping he'd settle down. But closing that door, that made things so much worse. Rex would press his body against it, whimpering with this heartbreaking desperation that kept both parents awake. Dan suggested maybe they should keep Rex outside at night, just temporarily, until the dog adjusted to having a baby in the house. But Emily couldn't shake this feeling. Something about the way Rex behaved. It wasn't jealousy. It wasn't attention-seeking. There was purpose in his actions. Urgency. Like he was trying to communicate something critical that they just couldn't understand. Maybe he needs more exercise, Dan offered one evening. Tire him out before bedtime, Tay. Tre d'Italiana. Long walks, playing fetch until Rex was panting. Nothing worked. The moment night fell, the same pattern repeated. Rush to the nursery. Bark. Refuse to leave. 3 weeks went by like this. Emily was running on fumes, caught between caring for a newborn and managing a dog who seemed to have lost his mind. She'd read articles about pets adjusting to new babies, talked to their vet who suggested it was probably behavioral, recommended a trainer. But then came the night that changed everything. It started like all the others. Baby monitor on. House quiet! Rex immediately rushing to the nursery door. Emily dragged herself out of bed, frustration mixing with exhaustion. Rex, please, she whispered, trying to keep her voice down. You're going to wake Noah up. I can't do this anymore. But Rex didn't listen. He pushed past her into the nursery, going straight to the crib. And then he did something he'd never done before. He stood up on his hind legs, front paws on the crib rail, and barked directly at the sleeping baby Luden sharp. Despair to Emily's annoyance instantly turned to confusion. Why was he barking at Noah? She stepped closer to quiet the dog, to pull him away, before he startled the baby awake. That's when she saw it. Noah's tiny chest. It wasn't moving. Time stopped. Noah. The name ripped from her throat. She lunged for the crib, scooping up her baby with trembling hands. His little body felt cold. Still. No breath, no movement. Nothing. Pure terror flooded through her. Noah. Oh God. Oh God. Noah. Please. Rex's barking intensified. He was pawing at her leg now, pushing his nose toward the baby's face, nudging her with a force that almost knocked her off balance. His message was clear even in her panic. Do something. Now. Then her scream brought her husband running, calling up a He's not breathing. Don. He's not breathing. What happened next was the longest 2 minutes of their lives. Don on the phone with emergency dispatch, voice shaking as he followed CPR instructions. Emily's hands moving on autopilot, doing chest compressions on her infant son, while silent prayers screamed through her mind. Please, please, please. Rex never stopped barking. He circled. Around 3 in the morning, it happened again. The monitor beeped. But before that alarm could fully sound, Rex was already up, already barking, already pressing his wet nose against Emily's face to wake her. She bolted upright. The monitor was just starting its alert. Rex had sensed the problem before the medical device detected it. The doctor's words the next day sent chills down their spines. Your dog's reaction time is faster than our technology. It's remarkable. Really. He's sensing something we can't measure. From that night forward, they stopped fighting Rex's instincts. They set up a small dog bed right beside the crib. Every single night, Rex curled up there, his steady breathing like a secondary monitor, his presence wrapping their baby in an invisible shield of protection. Months passed. Noah's condition gradually improved with treatment. The apnea episodes became less frequent, then eventually stopped altogether. But Rexy never stopped watching. When Noah started crawling, Rex followed him everywhere. Living room, Rex was there. Backyard. Right beside him, the bathroom door would close and Rex would sit outside, standing guard like a furry sentinel, never more than a few steps away. Always watching, always protecting. One afternoon, while cleaning out some old pet supplies, Emily found Rex's original collar from when they'd adopted him from the shelter. She held it up to the light, examining the worn leather. That's when she noticed something etched into the metal tag beneath his name. Faint scratches that formed words. Service dog. Infant loss recovery. Her hands started shaking. What did that mean? She grabbed her phone and called the shelter immediately. The woman who answered had a soft voice. Genta. Like she knew this would be a difficult conversation. Rex came to us about 2 years ago, she explained. His previous owner had a baby. The infant passed away from sleep apnea. Rex tried to alert the family that night, but no one woke up in time. After that tragedy, the owner couldn't bear to keep him. The grief was too much. Every time Rex tried to protect or check on things, it was a reminder of what she'd lost. Emily's vision blurred with tears. So he's done this before. Tried to save a baby. Yes. And he failed, through no fault of his own. But in his mind, he failed. Since then, he's been incredibly protective of any infant he encounters. It's like he's carrying that loss with him, like he's determined never to let it happen again. After hanging up, Emily sat on the floor holding Rex's head in her hands. Tears dripped onto his fur as the full weight of understanding crashed over her. You weren't just protecting Noah, she whispered. You were healing yourself, weren't you? You were getting a second chance. Rex had carried the weight of a tragedy that wasn't his fault. Had lived with the memory of a life he couldn't save. And when Noah came into their home, saw me instinct, some beautiful, heartbreaking instinct, kicked in. This time would be different. This time, he would succeed. From that moment on, Rex wasn't just a pet. He was family in the truest sense. A member of their household who had been through his own trauma and emerged with an unshakable devotion to protect. A silent guardian with a painful past and a heart big enough to love again despite it. The years rolled by. Noah grew from infant to toddler to little boy, and through every stage, Rex was there. The day Noah took his first wobbly steps, Rex walked beside him, steady and proud, tail wagging with that slow, satisfied rhythm that seemed to say, "Look at you. I knew you'd make it." Every single night before bed, after stories and tucking in goodnight kisses, Noah would crawl over to Rex's bed and wrap his little arms around the dog's neck, and he'd whisper the same 3 words his mother once said through desperate tears. "Thank you, Rex." Because here's the thing about heroes. They don't all wear capes or badges. They don't all make headlines or get medals. Sometimes heroes have 4 paws and fur and a heart that's been broken but refuses to give up. Sometimes heroes are the ones who've experienced loss and choose to protect even harder because of it. Sometimes heroes are dogs who understand. On some level we can't fully comprehend that life is precious and worth fighting for. Rex's story reminds us that animals aren't just pets. They're capable of incredible love, unwavering loyalty, and yes, even heroism. They sense things we miss. They act when we're unaware. They protect us in ways we don't always recognize until it's almost too late. So if this story touched your heart, if it made you think differently about the animals in your life, show some love with a like. Drop a comment telling me about a time an animal did something incredible for you or someone you know. And absolutely hit that subscribe button, because stories like this, real stories about real heroes, are what we're all about here. Until next time, give your pets an extra hug tonight. You never know what they might be protecting you from.